Hello, how you doing? It's MrDoTheMath here, and today we're going to be talking about calculating the FICA and taxes, FICA taxes, and taxes for teens. FICA means Federal Insurance Contributions Act, right? It's the Federal Insurance Contributions Act, and basically what this pays for is your Social Security and your Medicare. All right, Medicare is is your health insurance for your seniors, 65 and older. So when you're not of working age or you're not working anymore, you still have insurance, right? You still have health insurance, Medicare, because you paid into this while you were working all of your life, right? So we're gonna look at how to calculate this amount, right? So let's just dive into it. Here's our first situation. All right, so look, we have a person who is not self-employed, so they work for somebody, but they make $150,000 a year. They make $150,000 a year, and and we want to know what are they FICA taxes. All right. So look. There's a table that I'm going to share with you. There's a table that basically breaks this down. If someone makes over $110,000, or if you make $110,000 or less, your FICA tax is 5.65%. If you make more than $110,000, your tax up from $110,000 and up is going to be 1.45%, right? For everything above $110,000, and then everything from $110,000 and less is going to be back at the 5.65, which is quite interesting, right? But anyways, that's what we're going to be looking at. And this is only the tax rate when you are not self-employed, all right? And this is the example that we're going to use, all right? So here we go. All right, so they make $150,000. All right, they want to know the FICA taxes. All right. That being said, the first $40,000, which is going to be $150,000 minus $110,000, right? Bow. You're gonna multiply 1.45%. 1.45%, right? Now, in order to calculate 1.45%, you got to change it to a decimal. When you change it to a decimal, you move it 2 decimal places to the left. So you're going to multiply that by 0.0145, right? You're going to do that for the first amount over 110. And then from everything underneath there, we're going to use $110,000 times that 5.56, right? 65%, 5.65%, right? But again, let's change that to a decimal. So it's going to be 0.0565, right? So you're going to multiply these two and add them together, essentially. That's all the math that you have to do, okay? So let's do the math. So this is, what's that, $40,000 times the 1.45, which is going to give you 580, and then 5.65% times 110 is going to give you 6,215. All right. So this is that. You add these two together, and then you're going to get your FICA taxes, which is going to be $6,795. All right. That's in a nutshell. Right, plain and simple. FICA for the first 110,000, you get taxed 5.65. For everything over 110,000, you're gonna get taxed 1.45%, and then the 5.65. Okay, let's look at another example. All right, this particular person is not self-employed. Right, self-employed is a whole nother rabbit hole. But it's the same concept. It's not self-employed, and you know what? And yeah, it's not self-employed, and they make $200,000. All right. So It's the same thing. All right, so they want to know the FICA taxes, right? Not self-employed, they make $200,000. Bye, 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 bye. Good job. What kind of job do you think they're working when they make $200,000? Right? Put it in. We're gonna talk about that in the chat. All right. So again, we want to find out the FICA taxes. First things first, you're gonna multiply 1.45 for the first what's that, 90,000. So it's gonna be 200,000. Here's the math: 200,000 minus 110,000, right? Times 0.145, right? Then for everything else, 110,000 times that 0.0565, right? Add those two together and we have our taxes, right? So here we go. Here's the math, right? So $90,000 times 0.0145 is going to give us 1,305, 1,305, and then we have our 110 times the 5.65%, which is 6,215, which is the same as before, right? You're gonna add those two together, and you're gonna get a total of $7,520, right? That's the tax. Okay, that's the tax. All right, how you like that? That's cool. So look, that's how you calculate your FICA, right? 5.65%. And then 1.45% greater than $110,000. All right, and that is for if they're not self-employed. If they are self-employed, there's the tax rate is higher. That's it. We'll leave it at that. All right. Now, and this is all related to income taxes in 2012, right? 2010, 2012, right? This number is it could be different. The number is probably different now, 2021, but this is what it was 2010. Yeah, 2010. All right, so like now let's jump into taxes for teens, which most of us are, right? We are teenagers, which means that as a teenager, as a teenage employee, if you get a paycheck when you work, that means you're probably working hourly, and you're making under a set amount of money, right? Because full-time is considered working 40 hours or more a week. As a teenager, you're probably working well under 40 hours a week. All right, so so your income is going to be different, but the taxes are going to be a bit different too. So let's look at it. All right, let's look at our first example. Right, so we have a young person that is. So let's see what the job is. All right, they don't specify what kind of job it is, but they're saving up for college, right? They have a part-time job that pays $10 an hour. Pays $10 an hour, and every week they work 20 hours. All right. First things first, what would their gross income be? All right. What would their weekly gross income? If they work 20 hours a week at $10 an hour, you multiply these two, and they're basically making $200 a week, right? Federal income tax wants to take, so we're gonna put FED. Federal income taxes is 10%, right? FICA, we just talked about that, is 5.65%, right? Because again, if you making $200 a week, you multiply it by 52, it's under $110,000. All right, and then you got state taxes. In this particular example, the state taxes is 3%. All right. So we want to figure out on $200 a week gross how much we're going to have every week after we pay our federal taxes, our Social Security, Medicare taxes, and then our state taxes. All right. So here's the math. Let's do it. First thing you want to do is you want to multiply the gross 200 by 10%. 10% as a decimal is 0.1, right? So 10% of 200 is $20. So they make $20. Well, they have to pay, they have to pay $20 federal taxes, right? Now, you're going to take that same $200 and you're going to multiply that by 0.0565 for your FICA, not FICA, FICA, and that's going to be $11.30. Okay? Then you're gonna take that same $200, right? And you're gonna multiply that by 3%. That's gonna give you a total of $6, right? So every week, as you're working this part-time job, federal government wants $20 of that. Social Security and Medicare wants $11.30 from it. And the state that you're working in this particular example, wants $6 from your $200. All right? So that's the federal taxes amount, the FICA tax amount, and your state tax amount. All right? Now, to figure out what the net, now we want to know what the net weekly income is going to be, right? The net, the amount you actually get to put in your pocket. The net amount is going to be the gross amount. The net amount is going to be the gross amount minus your Fed plus your FICA plus your state tax. Okay? So let's do the math. So it's gonna be 200 minus federal $20 plus 1130 plus 6. Right? Bop, bop, bop. That's gonna give you what's that? 20, 36, 30, 37, $37 and 37.30. I think it is 37.30. Right? Ba-da. Yeah, 37.30, right? You're gonna subtract 37.30 from 200, and you're gonna get the amount that they take home, which is going to be $162.70. All right. So after making $200 and paying all of your taxes, you bank $162.70. Okay, that's it. Okay. Let's look at another example. Same thing, tax routines. All right. This person works at a florist, right? You know, a florist is a flower shop. They work at a flower shop, and at this flower shop, they are making $12 an hour, right? And they're working. I won't say only because going to school and working is a lot. So they make $12 an hour, and they're working 15 hours out the week, right? They want to know what the federal income taxes, how much the federal income tax is going to be, what their FICA is going to be, and their state taxes. But in this particular example, Fed is 10%, FICA is still 5.65%, but the state taxes is going to be 4%. Right? It's 4%. Make sure I got that right. All right. So again, let's do the math. It's the same math though, right? First things first, let's figure out how much that gross is going to be. 12 times 15 is going to give us a total of $180. They make $180 gross, right? A week. $180 a week. All right. So 10% of $180 is going to be $18. All right. 180 times 0.0565 is going to give us $10.17. And then from the state taxes times 0.4, right, is $7.20. All right. Now, what's our net income going to be? Again, it's the same thing. The net income is going to be the gross minus the Fed, FICA, and the state taxes. All right. So it's gross 180 minus the federal $18 plus 10.17 plus 7.20. All right. We all good so far. All right. Add all those together. That's a total of like $35.37. You're going to subtract 180 from that $35, which means that you're going to take home $144.63. Right? That is the net income. Okay? So FICA has a cutoff, right? It's your Social Security. Under 110 is 5.65 in this book example, and greater than 110 is 1.45%, and then you gotta do the rest for underneath at 5.65. Okay, so I hope that this makes some more sense as you look at your pay stubs when you get your check from your job. Now you can understand what FICA means, what federal and the state taxes means, right? And then what happens is with income taxes, you'll find out whether you pay too much in income taxes and they'll give you money back, or you didn't pay enough and they're gonna ask for more. But that's the beauty of being an adult or adulting and having jobs and stuff like that. Okay, that's what we have today. And if you have any more questions, comment below. And if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Mr. Do the Math.